I chose to work for Republican Senator Deb Fischer. The reason I chose to work for her originally was because of the fact that she was a Republican, which was my party, and she was running against Democratic Senator Bob Kerrey. The more I looked into it, the more I realized I agreed with her plans and policies. Deb Fischer plans to make Bush-era tax cuts permanent. She also plans to help reform the tax code, so that businesses like GE can't get away with shifting capital to low-tax countries, in order to make use of a tax shelter. She also plans to help lower tax rates on businesses, so that small businesses can get a start, and there will be more competitiveness between them. And if more businesses sprout up, there will be more job creation, which therefore lowers the unemployment rate and stimulates the economy. Deb also plans to eliminate the death tax, so that when members of families become deceased, you no longer have to pay taxes for their belongings. There are not only a handful of ideas that she has to help stimulate the economy, but reduce taxes also. She has many more ideas and plans other than what I've stated. The tasks I undertook were mainly copying and taking surveys over the phone. I did a few copies of the scripts that we had to read off, which we gave to the new people, so that they could have a little, guide through what they had to ask. Some of the questions that we had to ask on the survey over the phone were, do you agree or disagree with the way Barack Obama is handling his job as president? If there was an election for U.S. president today, would you vote for Mitt Romney or Barack Obama? If there was an election for U.S. Senate today, would you vote for Republican Deb Fischer or Democrat Bob Kerrey? And if there was an election for U.S. House today, would you vote for Republican Lee Terry or Democrat John Ewing? I made upwards of 400 calls, and of that, only about 50 people answered my call total, and only about 25 of them actually did the survey. The challenges that this task presented was getting people to actually take the survey. Because as Americans, most of them on Saturdays would rather watch Husker football than answer questions over a survey for the upcoming elections. Well, that was the most challenging part, was getting people to actually answer my questions. During the campaign, I met a kid named CJ who was from Creighton Prep. He had to volunteer and do a project similar to ours, but he had to volunteer 10 hours, and he had to write a paper over what he said. Well, I didn't really get to do much else because there wasn't really that much to do, only make calls. My perception of Deb Fischer hadn't really changed from the beginning because I agreed with her policies and plans, which she had stated in her campaign ideas. I never got to meet her because she was at the Republican National Convention the first time I volunteered, and she wasn't in office the second time. I think I would volunteer at Deb Fischer's campaign again because it was fun and there were a lot of cool people that I met. And I think the coolest part about working or volunteering for Deb Fischer was that I got to see how the campaign office and main headquarters of the Republican Party in Omaha worked. And I thought that was really cool.